Yankee and the Brit's the place to be. Radio living is the life for me. Airwaves spreading out so far and wide. Keep your FM, just give me that internet side.
Online is where I'd rather stay. I've got a lot of music to play. I just adore a Yankee view. Darling, I love you, but give me a show to do.
The Chat.
The Brats.
On air.
That's fair.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, British life.
The Yankee and the Brit on air. Hello, wife.
Good evening.
How are
Good
you?
evening to you guys out there that's listening. It's
Hello,
Sunday
Mr.
night
Dan.
on the Yankee and the Brit show. Dan Conley, the lonesome chatter in the chat room tonight.
Yes. When
Good
you planning on
evening.
starting up that show?
Yes, we need to know more details.
Getting eager to hear that. Where is that hum coming from?
Oh, I don't know. But I'm sure you're going to find one because we are live. Why don't you twiddle it around a bit more? See if you can make it hum some more. You like a good
Look
hum
at that.
job.
Listen, quiet.
Oh
Hey.
my gosh.
Whoop. Finally got it working.
Randy loves a good hum job, don't worry.
Ooh. Well, here
Don't
we
you
are.
even think about putting that in your mouth.
Shut up.
Leave it.
This is my night. I'm
I
doing
don't
what
care
want.
whose knife. That's good boy. Put
No.
it down.
My way or the highway.
Go on then, get on the highway.
All right, I'm out of here.
Loose connection on the mic, Dan said. I tell ya, the loose connection isn't only on the mic.
Oh, it's loose, all right. It's old, though. God, I can't believe how long we had this since we started.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3.5, 4 years old. Look, it still works. It's funny, too, that it even has any issues because it doesn't do anything but just hang here.
Yeah, we bought that when we got to Texas. Well, when I got to Texas.
Yeah, and that's
should I say.
I know, we had a shopping spree. That was fun, too.
We did.
I enjoyed that.
You spent all our money. That's why you enjoyed it.
Donna come over here with all this money. I said, let's do a radio show.
Watch out for traffic, Dan said.
Watch out for traffic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know he says that. I see that, but I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, all right then.
Did I miss something?
So Sunday night we have Colin Axxwell joining us at the top of the hour. We don't want to know about your willy, Dan Conley. He says mine just hangs there too.
Probably
if you put it in your trousers and zip it up, it won't just hang there.
probably because this is where I sit and work too. I swivel it up out of the way during the week, and it's probably
He has one of those lamp stands.
I know I made my own mic holder because it moves around, but I bought one of those lamps with the springs, the articulated little desk lamp things, and I threw the lamp away and made a mic holder out of it. It works nice. I did that before. But I think, and I put a new cable on it, too. We bought brand new cables for the mics not too long ago. And it's still got issues, so it's just got to be the microphone.
That's
It's
probably your
just cheap or
problem,
something.
man. We know you never have problems until you change that
Now,
cable.
Dan says the delay is getting me into trouble. What delay are you talking about?
I don't know, but if you get on a tune, I will listen to the delay at my end.
Well, he's probably not doing that yet. I don't know. But we had the delay problem really bad, and thank you to Samo, that problem got solved. Because we have an Alesis compressor limiter that Samo gave us, and that solved everything.
That basically means that we can sing along to
Right.
a song and we will come in time with the song rather than a delay of 30 seconds, not 30 seconds, half a second, sorry.
Because it was
But the delay that
terribly-
Dan gets, that is what everybody gets by a Spreaker. We talk, you hear it probably
10 or 12
seconds
seconds later.
Yeah.
The delay, we used to sing along, and it was friggin' horrendous. It was before you came around. And, oh, my God, and finally Samo just couldn't stand it anymore. I'm sending you a compressor.
I was only thinking about Dan Conley the other day, thinking, I wonder whether Dan Conley knows about Caesar and Ethel Jacks.
I don't know. I don't know what Dan knows, but I do know that I want to hear his first show.
Yes.
I
yes.
want to hear that first one. So if we don't get to listen to it at the moment, you better record it because I want to hear it. What the hell is that?
Never you mind.
Okay. Well, that was a sweet treat. Okay, so anyways, we're here on Sunday night. What's going on? Colin Axxwell is going to be joining us here at 8 o'clock, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, cool.
Tell Dan Connolly about Caesar and Ethel Jacks, because he probably has no clue about them. But we do have some of the clips that we recorded on the YouTube. The Bickersons, Caesar and Ethel Jacks is from the Bickersons. We reacted. Come on, what is the word? Help me out here.
I wasn't paying attention. I was looking. I thought I had some Caesar and Ethel stuff, but you must have all of it now.
Yeah, it's all on YouTube. Yeah, we come on. What did we do? I can't think of the words.
When I was a kid, our local AM station used to have this thing on. It was called the Bickersons, and they were great. I loved them. They were just this.
They're just
they were
Randy
Donna.
and me.
They were Donna. They were Donna and I. Is exactly what they were. They called them the Bickersons because they bickered with each other all the time. You know, it made perfect sense. And
John and Blanche.
yes, so I found all the scripts online. Oh, he remembers Caesar and Ethel. How do you know that? How do you know about that? How would you know that?
Even I wrote some of these scripts because we could only find a few.
Well, we found enough, though.
Yeah.
But we sat down and just did those scripts in our own way. And as they evolved, we got better. And now, even today, we still run around and call each other Caesar and Ethel. She'll say something, I'll go, shut up, Ethel. That's where that comes from.
And then when we're in bed, I'll go, do it now, make me scream.
That's where
and
the
then
do
we'll
it
start,
now came from.
And then we'll start laughing in bed, and that's it, we're giggling. But yeah, we even had the whole cast of Caesar and Ethel Jacks in the Yanki and the Brit show studios. We put on all the voices. Oh, it was just such great times, you know. It was a 15-minute skit.
Look at that. I searched it in YouTube and it came right up.
Caesar and Ethel Jacks, number 10. That was a cool one.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm in no hurry. We're in no hurry.
Here's Rand the Man
just
and
us.
Dominatrix as Caesar and Ethel Jacks in The Honeymoon is Over. For once, the walls of the Jacks apartment do not resound with the persistent snoring of husband Caesar. More's the pity. There can be only one reason for this astounding phenomenon. Caesar Jacks is not home. 2 o'clock in the morning finds Mrs. Jacks on the telephone with her sister Clara. Let's listen in.
What did you say, Ethel?
Said I haven't heard from Caesar since he left for work. You'd think he'd telephone me or something.
Well, maybe he tried to call. You've had the phone tied up for over an hour, Ethel. You called me 3 times.
He's never done this before. I think he wants to upset me. He gets so angry every time I spend $1. He says I'm the biggest spendthrift in California.
You
I'm
are.
a Clara.
I don't think so.
Well, Caesar does. And you know how careful I am about money.
Oh, yes, of course, Ethel. Well, I've got to give the baby his bottle.
You do? What time is it there in New York?
It's almost 5:30 in the morning, and Georgie gets a bottle every 2 hours. He's 4 weeks old, you know. He isn't gaining much, though.
What does he weigh?
61 pounds.
Sounds like
I don't
Marge
like the
Simpson.
doctor we have now. He thinks George is too
61-pound
heavy.
baby.
Oh, I think he's the cutest little thing I ever saw. Did Caesar's shoes fit him all right?
Well, they pinch a little in the toes.
Oh, you can get them fixed. Oh, I think Caesar's here. Goodbye, Clara. Caesar! Caesar!
I can't find a blasted light switch.
Oh, I'm so glad you're home, sweetheart. I'm in here.
Huh?
Never mind the lights. Come to bed, darling.
Oh, I must have the wrong apartment. Excuse me, madam.
Caesar, come back here.
Oh, hello.
Where have you been?
Working. Let me get undressed. I'm exhausted.
Why didn't you call? Don't throw your good coat on the floor, Caesar.
You can sweep it up in the morning.
No call, no message, no nothing. Why didn't you call?
I didn't have a nickel.
You did too. You had a quarter in your pocket this morning. Who'd you take to dinner tonight?
The whole chorus from Rural Carols. That's me, boy. Old Diamond Jacks.
Don't be so funny.
I'm not funny. I'm exhausted.
I bet you never thought of calling me. Other men would call their wives. If Mel Shaw leaves the house for even 5 minutes, he calls Louise.
Calls her what?
But like you care about me, I've been sitting here worried myself into a stew. What did you eat?
Stew.
Caesar Jacks, let me look at you. Are you sure you've been in the office till now?
Well, where do you think I've been?
I don't know. You didn't pass a cocktail bar on your way home, did you?
I never pass a cocktail bar.
That's what I thought. You've had a drink.
I did not.
You had more than one.
I didn't have any.
Why are you trying to take your pants off over your head?
What pants? This is that sweater you made me out of your old slacks. I'm the only man in town with a V-neck seat.
Oh, stop complaining. It keeps you warm.
Put out the lights, Ethel. I can't hold my eyes open.
Caesar, you're not going to sleep in that horrible old sheepskin vest.
Well, I'm cold.
Take it off. It looks hideous.
Nobody sees it.
Now just get up and put some pajamas on.
I hate pajamas. They strangle me.
Well, you can't wear that thing.
Can too.
What if there's a fire?
I won't go. Good night, Ethel.
Just get out of that bed and hang up your clothes. Don't leave them on the floor for me.
Ethel, I'm sleepy.
I'm always crawling under the dresser and picking up your collar buttons, picking up your ties, picking up your handkerchiefs. What do you think I am? A vacuum cleaner?
No, Ethel, a vacuum cleaner can be turned off. Look, Ethel, do me a favor, will you? I worked 18 hours today. Just let me close my eyes for a couple hours, will you?
I'm afraid if you fall asleep, you're going to start snoring.
No, I won't snore. I never snore.
How can you say that? You've never missed a single night since the second day we were married.
Mm-hmm.
You snore on a Monday, you snore on a Tuesday, you snore on a Wednesday, on Thursday you snore. So what are you going to do tonight? Oh, nobody would believe it. I'm married to a cellar pump. Oh, Caesar, you promised you wouldn't snore. And the minute you closed your eyes, you started.
Hey, Ethel, what do you want from me?
I won't stand for it. Go to sleep in the guest room.
We haven't got a guest room.
If you were a good husband, you'd see that we have 2 guest rooms. You used to have plenty of ambition before we were married. Whatever happened to your get up and go?
It got up and went.
I might have known you'd be like you are. Selfish, inconsiderate, and thoughtless. You didn't even send me a Valentine's card.
Valentine's Day isn't until tomorrow. It's still tonight.
Tonight was yesterday. Today is tomorrow.
What?
And I know you didn't send a card because you didn't send me one last year.
Well, I forgot last year.
You always forget. You forgot my birthday. I bet you don't know when we got married, do you?
No, I don't.
You don't even know when you married me.
When? Oh, I thought you said why. No, I don't.
Oh, I suppose you think you were such a great catch. I could have married half a dozen of the wealthiest men in town, but no. I had to fall for you and your smooth talk. You kept calling me your buried treasure, didn't you?
Didn't I what?
Didn't you always call me your buried treasure?
Maybe I did.
Well, what are you going to say now?
I'm sorry I dug you up. Good night, Ethel.
Sorry you dug me up? There wasn't another girl in our crowd who'd give you a second look.
Oh, I don't know about that. Most of those dames thought I had what it takes.
Maybe you had it, but who took it? And what did I get out of this marriage? Jewels? No. Clothes? No. Money? No. What did I get?
No.
I tell you what I got, Caesar Jacks. A 1-room apartment and a leaky icebox.
Oh, leaky icebox.
Every night, my pillow was wet from my tears.
Put a pan under it.
Oh, you're not listening to me. You don't care what happens. I wish I'd never been born.
Oh, Ethel, what's the matter with you? Why don't you go to sleep?
How can I sleep? How can I sleep when I know that you don't love me?
Who said I don't love you?
Well, you never tell me that you do.
I tell you 1,000 times a day. I offered to pay a man $50 for a 6-inch tattoo that says Caesar loves Ethel. Why'd you object?
Because it would show when I wore my evening gown.
Well, I was going to let him do it on me, too, you know. Anything to put a stop to that same question night after night after night.
Oh, if only you'd say it once of your own accord. I'd never ask you.
Okay, I love you.
Do you love me only?
Yes.
When I'm away from you?
Yes.
Well, say it.
I love you only when I'm away from you.
I guess you do. Maybe that's why you stayed out, cavorting, till 2 in the morning.
I wasn't cavorting, I was working.
What for?
Because I get paid for overtime and we need the money. I have to make a payment on my car next week. $84.
Where will you get that?
I got it. It's in the desk drawer.
No, it isn't.
It is too. I looked yesterday.
Huh, you didn't look today.
Ah, Ethel.
There's only $60 in that drawer, Caesar.
What happened to the other $24?
Don't even look at me.
Listen, Ethel, there are only 2 people who have a key to that drawer. You and he, and $24 is missing.
Well, let's each put $12 back and say no more about it, eh?
I knew knew it. I knew it. What'd you blow it on this time, Ethel?
I had to pay the phone bill. I made a few long-distance calls.
Long-distance calls? Who'd you call for $24?
My sister Clara. I was worried. She had a tooth pulled.
How could you squander my money like that? I deny myself everything. Do I even buy toothpaste? No. I've been brushing my teeth with a whisk broom. I stick tinfoil in my cavities to save on dentist bills. I've been wearing an upper plate that belongs to my cousin, and she calls New York for 5 minutes.
Oh, don't make a fuss. Clara's my sister, and I have a perfect right to call her. Anyway, Barney's in the hospital.
Who's Barney?
He's Clara's husband. When he was out looking for a job, he tripped over a bar rail, and 2 cases of bourbon fell on his head.
Well, it's the first time the drinks were ever on him.
How can you say that? Barney's not cheap. He takes good care of Clara. She has a lovely home, and they've got money for everything.
Oh, sure. Money for everything.
Don't sneer. Last week, Clara had her tonsils taken out and Venetian blinds put in.
With a mouth like hers, they could do it. That bum Barney isn't working. Where do they get the dough?
Accident insurance. He's collected a fortune on accident insurance. Every time Clara has a baby, he jumps off the roof.
What?
He doesn't hurt himself too bad, just enough to collect the insurance. You haven't got any insurance, have you, Caesar?
No, I don't want to talk about it. I want to sleep.
But suppose something happens to you. What if you have an accident and you can't work?
Then we'll starve.
We're starving now.
That's too bad.
It's easy for you to talk like that. If anything happened, I'd be left helpless and destitute. Why didn't you get some accident insurance, Caesar?
I'll get some next week.
Ah, you say it, but you won't do it. Get up and do it now.
What?
Go on, get up and get some accident insurance.
Ethel, are you planning on pushing me out of a window? Are you out of your mind? It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, people have accidents all hours of the night.
I'm not going to have any accidents tonight.
Oh, how do you know?
Ethel, why don't you let me sleep?
Well, just promise me you'll get some accident insurance.
Why?
Because it's a wonderful protection. Clara told me 2 weeks ago a man broke his hip and he got $5,000. Last week, Barney fractured his skull and he got $10,000.
Well, what about it?
Well, next week, you might be the lucky one.
Good night, Ethel.
Good night, Caesar. Come tune in to Ran the Man on Spreaker.com next Friday for the next episode of Mr. and Mrs. Jax, or you can find us on YouTube.
Yanki and the Brit. What day is it? Sunday.
Sunday
That's what
night,
day it
Sunday the
is.
20th of May, and on the Dog and Bone we have Colin Axxwell. Say hello, Colin.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing?
Hey.
Doing all right, Mr. Axxwell. What's with the triple X? Getting kind of sexy.
Yeah, honestly, I see a lot of people with names that I don't want to say they're forgettable, but I wanted to make sure that people, if they didn't remember my name exactly, at least they had a reason to. It sounds really weird, but it was sort of a marketing thing. I wanted people to say, I don't remember his name, but yeah, it was a guy with the 3 X's. I remember that.
X-rated on the Yanki and the Brit show.
Should we call you Mr. X or Triple X?
It's funny. When I first got started with that name, I was playing in a hard rock band in Massachusetts, and it was, what did they call me? It was Triple Axxwell. Yeah. That's what they used to call me, was Triple Axxwell.
Hey, that's not bad. That's pretty cool. Triple Axxwell. Axxwell. Whoops.
Yeah. No, Colin's fine. Colin's fine.
So tell us about your music. When did you get started?
Oh, can you ever really put a finger on it? I mean, most of us have been playing music or singing or doing something since we were born, feels like, anyway.
Not to some of the people we've been talking to.
So you were dancing around your room to Elvis Presley in your underpants when you were about 2 years old?
Well, yeah, I mean, my dad was pretty musical. I want to say it was probably more like the Eagles and the Beach Boys back in those days. But, he had that rack of CDs back when those were a thing that people bought. And, I'd steal the CDs off the rack, and I'd listen to Garth and Alan Jackson and Van Halen and Chicago, whatever. I mean, I didn't know anything about music back then, so I just pull random CDs off and start finding out what my dad was into, and that's sort of...
So you must be quite young if you say CDs.
Well, 33, if I have to admit it, yeah.
Ah.
That's still pretty young.
Yeah, you see, I'm 39, and we had cassettes, and right up until my early teens, and then everybody started getting CDs. So I guess
we had cassettes earlier on. I remember I stole my dad's No Fences cassette, and I wore it out. I don't even think it works anymore. So I'm right there with you. But things change. The technology changes in such a short amount of time. It's hard to keep up with. I think it's getting even worse. Just with the internet, it seems like things change every day.
Did you carry a pencil around with you back then?
No, it wasn't so much into songwriting until later.
No, I meant to rewind your cassettes.
Oh, right. It's funny if you put a cassette and a pencil in front of a kid nowadays, they wouldn't even understand what that was for. So.
Oh, that nowadays it would be for writing down the words.
That's right. Or for chewing on while you're working out your anxiety. And
it wasn't just for rewinding them, it was for when the cassette got jammed in your player and there was just loads of tape everywhere and you had to wind it all the way back in.
Right, you got tape spaghetti.
Yeah.
I'm 60 now, and that's probably why I have lead poisoning from chewing on my pencil from my cassettes.
Yeah, that's back before they started making them out of graphite, right?
That's before dirt. Did I hear you say you played in a rock band?
Oh, I've been around the gamut, man. Rock, metal. I mean, college was the cover band circuit. So, yeah, I mean, if you like music, it doesn't matter, honestly.
Right.
I sing country better, so that's when I finally got to the point where I wanted to front a band. That's what I started doing, and I've listened to country my whole life. But when you live in a place like New England, you're going to find that not everybody's a huge country fan up that way. A lot of the market leans towards rock and pop and metal, and I had to go to high school up there, so you gravitate towards what people didn't want to hear, I guess.
What made you settle on country then?
Always liked it. I mean, my dad was in the Air Force, so we moved all over the country. I spent a lot of time down south. I think we lived in New Mexico for 4 years. Florida, Southern California isn't really southern, but always grew up on country music. Always liked the idea of the songs actually telling a story.
Yes.
And maybe transporting the listener from the beginning of the song to the end of the song. It feels like you've actually gone through some sort of transformation, which I really enjoy. The older I get, the more I enjoy that aspect of country music. And I'm not a pop singer. There's not a vocal quality there for pop music, and you sort of figure that out. There's a reason why somebody comes on the scene and it takes 10 years for them to develop themselves to a point where they can actually get out in front of a substantial audience and open for artists that are established, because it takes you a while to figure out what it is you do well and how to do it better.
So where are you in this game, I guess, for lack of a better word? Are you already playing opening act? Are you an opening act for people now?
I've done it. When I was up in New England, I was doing, I had a lot of traction. Just before I left down for Nashville, we had played a big Florida Georgia Line show. I think, who else was there? Cadillac 3, maybe. And we did some shows with people like Josh Thompson. Who else? There was a handful, but the problem is just as I was getting into it, I started to realize that there was a ceiling up there in New England for country music, and I really had to get down to a place where everything was happening. So last year I moved down to Nashville, and it's kind of reset itself because I'm working myself into all kinds of new markets, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm back to blindly booking clubs in the middle of nowhere and going down grassroots and making new fans. And then it's honestly, we played Lyons, Georgia last week, and that's right in the heart of where guys like I think Cole Swindell, Luke Bryan came from. I mean, those are the people that really love what we're doing. So, I mean, trade-off isn't so bad.
Is this all you do now, or do you still have a day job?
Oh, to be honest with you, if I didn't work a day job, I honestly have no idea how anybody would afford this.
That much, huh?
What do you do in your day job?
Well, I work in the construction industry. I fly around the country. We do insulated metal panels on really large buildings. I'm working on LaGuardia Airport in New York right now, so they fly up there and they fly me up there, and I manage the projects. And the nice thing is I get to keep all my airline points and all of the hotel points and car rentals and things like that, which helps out so much when I'm doing things like flying out to a show, meeting with the guys. We got to get a hotel room. A lot of that stuff for me is paid for by my job, so it's not necessarily the fact that I'm making money, and that helps me afford things like recording and vehicles, but I mean, there's a lot of costs that aren't on paper, like free hotel rooms and flying guys to gigs. If I need a fiddling guy, I can fly a guy there almost for free. It's really nice.
Is that prefab stuff you build?
Well, we have a shop here in Nashville, so we do the fabrication here, and it's it's kind of like putting a big puzzle together on the outside of a building.
Yeah, I know all
so
about
it. It's partially prefabbed, but it's also there's a lot of the guys in the field. They're very skilled, and there's a lot of plumbing and leveling that has to go on to make these things straight. So
I think the construction trade is pretty cool. It's amazing the things you get to see and do, and how things actually work and how they're built and what holds them together in a 300-mile-an-hour wind and blah blah blah.
Yeah, you got to be careful because if you let it, that's an industry that will it'll chew you up and spit you out.
Oh.
I mean, it's like music. So you kind of have to realize that at the end of the day, you're doing it for money. I don't want to say this because it sounds bad, but I work for money. I play music because I enjoy it, and I have to be able to leave that part of me behind when I leave on a Friday afternoon. You know, you can't let it interfere too much, and you can't think about it or drive you crazy.
Oh, geez, don't let it make you feel bad. That's the only reason I work is for money. I mean, we all have to do that. Otherwise, where would we be?
That's right. And people forget it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take much to remind them when all of a sudden they can't buy their groceries.
Well, I know. I mean, people forget that. I don't know the best way to put this. I've come to terms with the fact that there's always going to be a job out there, you know, but there's not always going to be the opportunity to go play music if you're not careful. So
that's right. Do you write your own music?
I do.
Do you remember the first song that you ever wrote? What was it about?
Well, I wrote a lot of lyrics before I started writing actual songs. I don't know. It's probably some generic love the girl country song, you know. Just regurgitating the things that I've heard my heroes writing. But to be fair, mimicry is a pretty high form of flattery, and that's how you learn to do things. Is you know, at the earliest age you watch your parents, and then you get older and you watch somebody that inspires you, and it takes a little while to actually get to a point where you are. It takes a little while to learn, and until you actually learn what you're doing, then you can kind of put your own flavor on it, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have you written anything for anybody else?
No. I mean, if somebody wanted to record one of my songs, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But there's a lot of stuff that I write that I can only picture myself singing. You know, a lot of people take themselves a little too seriously, and which is fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can do whatever you want, but I'm a little bit looser in my songwriting. And I mean, when I write a song called "Hillbilly Striptease," there's only two or three people I can think of that would ever want to sing that. One of them is me.
I'd like to go to one of those shows.
Yeah, well, it's actually a song about the hillbilly guy stripping for his woman.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll stay home.
Come on, husband, get stripping.
I thought maybe I'd get to see my sister and my dad.
Oh.
But you understand, like, I'm not afraid to touch on stranger things like that, and you know, you put those in front of a publishing company, they're going to go, yeah, like, we have this whole handful of stuff over here that's not racy and will probably not offend anybody. So
that's right.
We're all set.
Yeah, heaven forbid if you'd step outside the box even for a second.
And that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, I don't understand. Well, for a lot of people that songwrite, like, they go to these publishers, and that is their job. It's just what we were talking about before. Like, my job's construction. Their job is writing for publishers. Personally, I couldn't put myself in a room every single day and write to radio. I just can't do it.
Tell us about the song, Look Up. What's it about?
You know, they say that if you hang out with a songwriter, you always run the risk of being put in a song. And I actually went on a date. Gosh, where were we? I think it was in Boston with this girl who I won't name her because that seems probably bad. But
not important.
I went on this date. Yeah, it's not important. But she just looked at her phone all night. And I wanted to grab her. And shake her in a nonviolent way.
That right there makes her unimportant.
Right. But, you know, I like to say that if you get a good song out of something, then it wasn't a waste of time.
Yes. Wasn't a wasted date.
Right, so the date wasn't wasted, but the whole time that she was there looking at her phone and I was just kind of watching, I think there was a band on it. And I just thought, man, if you would just look up from that thing, I mean, you'd see there's, you know, maybe not the guy for you, but at least a decent guy in front of you. And, you know, there's a good band. If not, like, if I'm not your thing, like, there's a good band over there. There's a lot of people around just kind of living life. And I almost feel like everybody with their phones, they're involved in a life they want to have rather than the one they do have. And it's almost like everything you see online is like everybody else's fantasies too. So everybody's just living in this fantasy world of wanting it to be better than it is, and it's just not the way life goes. But the least you can do is look up and see the people around you that want to be with you and they, you know, that want to enjoy your company.
Kind of scary. Yeah. It's almost like living in a virtual world all the time.
Right.
Well, Well, it
It
is
is.
as well, because like when women and guys post selfies, there's that kind of person that doesn't care what they look like when they post selfies, and then there's the flip side to it where people only show the good sides. They only show themselves if they look absolutely stunning in the photos.
Right.
And it leads people into a false. It's a false version of you. They only write the good things online. They don't. It makes people think that your life is perfect, and nobody's life is perfect. But it's certainly easy to look at someone's life on Facebook and think they must have it all. I'm so jealous.
Right. It goes back to pictures, I guess, were the same way. You look at someone's photo album and you'd think they were happy every day. And I think that maybe feeds into a lot of, I think there's a lot more depression and anxiety around the world. And honestly, I attribute a lot of that to being connected online. And you go to somebody's house in the past, you'd look at a photo album and they look happy, but you're not looking at that photo album every day that you wake up. You don't wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and look at someone's photo album and see how much happier they are than you. It's just really changed the game, and I feel bad for a lot of people because they don't realize that 9 times out of 10, those people that you're looking at probably are having a worse time off in life than you are, but you're looking up to them, wanting something different out of your life when it's probably pretty good.
Do you have your own band?
I do. Nashville's kind of a funny place because everybody down here is looking for work all the time, and most people that are in town, they play for money. They don't have any other job. So I got a core group of guys who I try to get on every gig, but for example, last night's gig down in Florida, I had to hire a bass player and a guitar player, and they kind of had to learn this stuff. So they did a good job. It's not necessarily preferable to do it that way because they're not as tight with the band, but it is what it is. It's part of living down here.
That would seem kind of tough, trying to just pull somebody basically off the street, come in and play my songs for me, and he'd be like, okay, what are we playing, How does a guy, whether he's a drummer or a guitarist or whatever, how can he possibly just snap his fingers and get into the mood that your music and your song sets? It just seems tough.
It's tough. It is tough, and you'd be surprised how many people actually do it. The good thing is, in Nashville, there's a lot of pro guys, so if one guy can't do it, there's another guy that can, and you just gotta figure out who your backups are, and I'm still in the process of doing that. It's frustrating, I didn't like the idea of having my name across everything until I realized, I don't want to say that I was alone in this, but I'm time-wise and money-wise, I'm the biggest investor, and
well, of course,
I appreciate the guys I play with, but at the end of the day, like, they can come and go whenever they want to.
Right.
So you build up, I don't want to say an empire, but you build up your product and you build up your repertoire songs, and you just fill in where you have to,
Have you ever called any of these outside players that you just need on a moment? Have you ever had one that you've called up and explained everything to him, and he says like, no, dude, I can't do that kind of thing?
No, it's kind of the other way around, because everybody in Nashville, again, these utility players, they need, I don't want to say they need the money, but some of them do. But that's what they do. They're hired guns. They make their money doing this, and it's much more likely that a guy will show up and not play well than a guy say, no, I don't want to.
So they don't want to take the chance of missing a gig.
Yeah, a lot of times that's true. Some guys have like a specific amount of money they want to make. So I'm not making $6-7 a gig. I can't afford to give everybody $1,000 to go play a show. It's just
right.
And if guys are on that level, then guys will certainly say, yeah, that's not enough money for me. But other than that, usually not.
Well, going back to the mobile phone things, me and Randy will go out. We'll go for breakfast, for example, and you'll see a couple together, and they will both have their heads in the phones. There is nothing more irritating to us. We go out, the phone's in the bag. We sit there and we talk. We actually have a conversation. We look at each other, and there's nothing more irritating than looking across the other tables and just seeing that people are. A few weeks ago, we saw a grandma, a mother, a daughter, and a little boy, and they had an iPad. They had the phones. The little boy had earbuds in, and we could not believe that they spent the time to go out for breakfast, and they all sat there on the social networking. But one thing I was about to ask you, going back to the mobile phones thing, was, do you find it irritating when you're on the stage and you're singing and people are filming you? Because I have this little thing in my head. I like to film things. I'm a bit of a happy snapper myself, but sometimes I like to put the phone in my bag and just look at it, take it all in with my eyes, and you miss so much going on around you because you're trying to get the perfect view in your screen, in that little tiny screen. You know, what's your thoughts? Do you ever tell people to put their phone away?
You know, I don't. I think that if anybody wants to take out your phone and film what you're doing, it's flattering. It really is. I personally don't go to a concert and take out a phone. I want to watch the concert with my own eyes, and I don't feel the need to share that with anybody. At the end of the day, I have this funny saying. I actually wrote a song about it a long time ago when I was in college, and it was called "Stop Stealing My Memories." And,
there you go.
It's basically like, listen, this is my experience. I mean, I paid for this ticket to go to this concert, to watch this concert, and to have this experience. Like, you know what? If you want this experience, you do that. You come to this concert and you see it. But these are my memories, and they're for me and who I'm with, and that's where it ends.
How can you share a memory like that, really? I mean, you know, you can take pictures of the moment, you know, but how can you share looking around in a concert and see, you know, whether it's smoke in the air or whatever's going on around you? How can you share those? Those are all in your head. That's your own personal stuff.
That's right. And there's a lot of things that are never going to translate onto a phone video. I mean, there's certain frequencies that phone videos aren't going to pick up. I mean, if you were at a Queen concert and they start playing "We Will Rock You," right?
Yeah.
And you're in a stadium with 60,000 people, and they start stomping their feet on the ground. I mean, how are you going to recreate that
exactly
to somebody on a cell? It's not even worth it. Like, why would you try?
What about the crazy couple next to you smoking a joint and passing it around to about 15 people they don't even know, and they're all laughing and having fun, and you just happen to glance over and see everybody smiling and enjoying the music and like you said, stomping their feet? You can't. It's just that's yours. That belongs to you. And I'm so glad back in the concert days when I used to go to them that I didn't have a phone or we didn't have a camera or any of that stuff. It was great. I can still remember, you know, going and seeing Heart and Genesis and some of these great concerts.
Oh, for sure.
And I can still see that in my head, but I can't ever share that with anybody. I could never explain the experience. That belongs to me, and that's where I want it to stay.
Yeah, I just wondered if you ever, you know, look at people in the audience and think, why don't you put that thing away?
Well, here's the beautiful thing. With a song like Look Up, there is probably like once every 3 shows, I'll be getting ready to play that song, and I'll look out and there'll be people on their phones, and I start and I'll talk about it. Like, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll just say, this is a song I wrote about cell phones and how much I hate them, and then we'll play. And then sometimes if I look out in the audience and people's faces are lit up, because you can see them, you're like, oh wow, okay, that person's on their phone, that person's on their phone. You look right at them and you say, you ever out with somebody who just won't look up from their cell phone, and you look at them, you know?
You have that experience, don't you?
Yeah, it's not. So it's a very passive aggressive way of saying, I'm talking about you, like you're the one.
And they're so busy with their phones, they don't get it.
Some of them do. Some of them look up in embarrassment, and I feel bad. But honestly, it's like you came out to see a show. Well, if you think we're bad, I guess whatever. But it's more of a broad message to just say, guys, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't even own a phone. I got rid of mine. I can't stand them. They're nothing but a pain in the ass. We have one phone for business, and I can text my brother and call mom and whatever. But that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's not so bad. If I could do it, I would.
Yeah, well, we'd get rid of ours completely if we could. But, you know, that's the world. What are you going to do? Interestingly
enough, I think there was a time when social media was really helpful to artists, and that was probably 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and things have gotten so, I guess the social media web has gotten so inundated with content that it's made it really, really difficult for people to sift through any of it.
Yeah.
So I look at things like Facebook and Instagram and even Spotify to an extent, and it's so accessible to everybody to put stuff on that it's almost irrelevant these days. I have a feeling that live shows are going to be coming back around. I really do.
Well, I hope it's soon.
Yeah, well, you can't. I think people are getting tired of going online and not understanding what they should be looking at. Like, people are going to get back into going to shows and feeling those feelings you were just talking about.
Yeah, but they'll take their phones. They'll take their phones and share it on Facebook.
Yeah, they will, and no one will care. They'll get 5 likes, and then they'll put something else up.
It's all about.
I've given up on social media for the most part. I've gone back to. I went away from it for 3 weeks. I didn't touch it, and life was fine.
Yeah, it's funny. Your whole world didn't even fall apart, did it?
It didn't. So I don't want to go away from it totally, but half an hour a day maybe I'm going to give to it just to put up shows, and there's still people that use it, so I'll update my calendars and stuff. But wasting 8 hours a day keeping up with social media it's almost, I don't know, it seems like the time for that's past.
Where do you do a lot of your songs at? In a studio there in Nashville?
Yeah, I got to get back to recording some more. It's funny you should ask, because I was just thinking about whether or not I was going to pay another producer, $1,500 to $2,000 a song to do this, or if I was going to take that money and go to recording school and just learn so I could record for the rest of my life. But the last EP we did, like songs like Look Up, those were done over down at Sony at Music Row. So we didn't spare much expense on those ones, and they turned out pretty good if I don't mind bragging.
The ones we have, I think they're fantastic. Hell yeah, that's a great tune. What's the story behind that?
No storyline, just wanted to write a fun song. It's one of those rare instances where I just say, hey, let's write a song where people can sing it with me.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've only listened to it once yet so far, but I picked up some of the lyrics. I thought that's pretty cool. That's a good way to put some of that.
Well, and that's the other thing too. I also like to prove that I can write a fun summer song without it being all fluff. It's not talking about coolers and beers and boats. Which again, it's fine, but there is an opportunity to tell a story with some depth to it, even if it is a song that just says hell yeah a bunch of times. And
sometimes the lyrics in some songs are so easy I don't know how they can even sing it.
Like bird is the word.
Oh gosh, that's the Trashmen, right?
Yeah,
I still
she
hate
hates
that
that
song.
and I can't play it enough, because I'm an old school like that anyways, but she can't stand
I'm not
it.
into
We have
stuff that's
actually-
repetitive.
We have actually considered putting that in a medley in one of our shows.
Oh, do it.
Don't do it.
Do it.
Do it. No.
We play La Bamba now sometimes, and people love it.
La, 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 la. God, I can't stand that song.
Yeah, but people don't hear it, and it's a fun song. We were gonna do a mashup of like "Bird Is the Word," the Macarena, and something else. I can't remember, but it'd just be one of those. It goes back to an experience. You want to go to a show and you go, oh yeah, like I remember that was fun. They were in the middle of the set and they played these songs that we all think are ridiculous, but we all know the Macarena and all started doing it because it reminds us of 5th grade.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get your point perfectly, though. That does make kind of good sense to just throw something in there, kind of, tips the scale to one side a little bit. Yeah, I guess nostalgic, you could say, sure. Because everybody knows the words.
People are out.
Everybody knows the words to all those.
Well, Macarena is in Spanish, so maybe not, but...
Everybody owns that chorus. Hey, Macarena.
Oh, absolutely.
We own it.
Right, and as much as they hate it, as much as everybody says they hate the electric slide when they go to a wedding and someone plays it, you bet your ass everybody's out there dancing to the electric slide or the dance. They're going to do it.
That's right. Well, it's like you just can't help it.
Go ahead.
What's the future for Colin Axxwell? What do you see in your future plans? Do you want to travel? Do you travel a lot with it already? Where do you want to travel to? Do you want to travel around the world?
Well, I want to play music, and I bought an RV, which we've taken out a couple times, but we've already done some shows in Florida and Georgia. I got a show in North Carolina scheduled to come up, so we're already doing some traveling. What I'm probably going to do is really minimize what I play to certain types of venues. There's a lot of places that can't afford to have a decent band come play, which is fine, but it doesn't really make it worth it to make the trip. So I really have to cherry pick. I've sent a lot of things to fairs and festivals. Those are really what we enjoy playing because we can do a lot of original music there as opposed to a nightclub where you have to play a lot of cover songs. But honestly, I'm trying to figure out a way where I can put out more of my original songs. It's so expensive here in Nashville. I just love to get more of it out there and just share what I do with the world. That's really the main goal.
Can't you put together, and I don't know, I don't know what it costs anymore, but couldn't you put together a smaller studio at home that you could record in that still would sound good?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I've been working on songwriting and putting the band together and, really concentrating on shows and things like that. And, I haven't really, the problem is when you work and you play, there's only so much time in the day.
Yeah, but once you have your little studio at home on your weekends when you're home or when you got a couple days at home or whatever, you could be jamming.
Right. Right, and it's a little hard to do. Right now, I'm renting out a room in a house with 4 other people because it keeps costs down. And they're good, actually. My roommate's my drummer, and then there's another guy next to me. He plays guitar, and then my other roommate Amanda, she's trying to get into artist management. So it's really nice, but it's not really conducive to building a studio or anything. So hopefully in the next year or so, I'll be able to get a piece of property up here in Nashville and maybe put something like that on it. You know.
Because, I mean, do you really need, an 800-channel board? I don't think you do. I mean, I've heard some great music come through a cell phone, so, 6, 8 channels, you can still get great sound if you set everything up the right way.
That's right. Unfortunately, like in the place I'm in now, like the air conditioning unit runs right outside my window. You know what I mean?
We have the same issue over here.
So I actually have thought a lot about what you're saying, and I'm sort of coming to that conclusion. I can, for the cost, I mean, for 4 songs to do them as an independent artist here, it was like 10, 12 grand.
Yeah, and I think for less than that, you could put together a nice little studio if you put it in the right room that, gives you the right ambience. I think, I just don't understand how people can say, well, I got to save up all this money to get in the studio, and they save up all this money, and that money they saved up, they could have just, made their own and still sounded good. And then when you're big and famous and you're making all that money, then you can go into a better studio if that's what you want.
That's sort of where I'm at, and you have to remember that everybody's at a different point in their life, and it takes experience to figure out what you want to do, and regardless of how I feel about how much it costs to record, and those guys do a good job. I'm not saying they're not worth it, but I needed something. I put out an album a few years ago, and it was just to get something on the table. I needed something that was more professionally done for marketing, and I didn't have time to learn how to do it yet. So now I can kind of sit back and I can use those songs still. They got a lot of life left in them. I can use those songs while I, circle back and maybe try to figure out some things on my own. And you're absolutely right. I haven't looked into it yet, but I bet for 10 grand I could send myself to a recording school.
I don't know why not. I mean, of course, I can't say I don't know what it costs. When I went to broadcasting school way back in the 80s, then, of course, it wasn't cheap. But now that I look back on it, even in those days, it wasn't that expensive for what I got out of it.
And you're looking at, it's not like I got to go to a 4-year university. You're looking at something very specific. Like I can go take classes on how to use Pro Tools and how to set up a room. I can find an engineer down here and I can pay him to teach me. It doesn't even have to be through a school. I could just go sit in and watch people.
You might find you are capable of doing it on your own right from the beginning, because it seems to me if you can play music and you can hear music and you can feel music, why couldn't you put down who you are,
That's right. Now,
I know it sounds easy from my point of view, but...
Right, and there's a lot of things that go into making a country album sound like a country album. There's a lot of instruments. On the ones we did, there's probably 12 instruments on that CD,
Well,
but that's not saying that I can hire a guy myself and bring him into my studio. So
you can always find another roommate that's an engineer.
That's right. That's right.
Have you got have you got an EP out, or what do we call them nowadays? CDs, EPs? What are we calling them?
Yeah, I have that. I did 4 songs down there at Sony, and those are the 4. I think they're all on my website. They may not be. That Guy, Look Up, Hell Yeah, and Wild Side were all done at the same time. That was the second one that I did. Now, there was an older EP that was a 6-song one that I did when I was up still in New England, but I was really getting my legs underneath me, and since then I've really spent time learning how to write a decent song that at least will compete with a commercial market, if you understand what I mean.
We didn't get the Wild Side one. I'm going to have to look that up.
Being in Nashville, you could easily be chewed up and spat out. You
spat out.
I'm English, don't you know? Yeah,
she still cracks me up once in a while.
You could be chewed up and spat out or flushed down the toilet. Are you willing to sell yourself, sell your soul to be how they want you to be in Nashville? Are you willing to change who you are, change your style, change how you do things to become a recording artist?
Nah, because at that point, I mean, it doesn't warm your soul. Like, it doesn't fulfill you as a person. I mean, if you're doing this, again, if you go, all right, I'm going to do music as my job, and I want to be as successful as I can because I want to make the most money possible. That's what a lot of people want out of it. I'm an artist and I want to express what I have to say. And although I understand that there's certain ways to do it, like you can be an artist and not know how to write a song and people will listen to it and go, I'm not really feeling it, But I play songs in front of people who enjoy what I do all the time. I don't need a radio station or a record exec telling me that it's good. If I play a song and I play it 3 or 4 times out and people aren't getting into it, guess what? Like, I take it out of my set because I can tell, like, that's really my metric. I look out and see if people are enjoying the song, and if people are loving it, then who the hell needs a radio station to tell you it's good?
Yeah, the people will tell people. Word of mouth.
I mean, we sometimes hear songs on the radio, and it's supposedly country, and it just sounds like a boy band. It sounds like these people have been molded.
It's that Nashville sound, baby.
Yeah, they've been molded into doing it in a particular way, and I just hope that all you guys that come on this show are going to stick to who you are. You've got to be comfortable.
Sure.
You've got to be comfortable with the decisions you make. If, like you say, if you're just out for the money and you're naturally talented and you can make a lot of money out of your talent, and you're happy with that decision, I don't suppose it matters, but I hope that a lot of people that we have on this show have more about them than that.
Yeah, it's there's a reason why the radio stations and the record labels do what they do, though, and people started devaluing music, and nobody thinks it's worth anything, and these guys are trying to find the only way that they can to make money, which I totally understand. It's a business, and if they're finding that they're not making money by developing people, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's kind of on the audience. If they don't want to support local music and they don't want to support new people that are experimenting with new sounds, and all they're doing is paying for concerts for bands that all sound alike, then I really can't blame record labels and radio stations for gravitating towards that kind of music. It's not really their fault. They're just doing what they can to make money.
That's what it's all about. Show me the money.
That's it. It's a business. Music business. No business, no music.
So what advice do you give to the future Colin Axxxwell 5 years down the line when you're rich and famous? What advice have you got for yourself?
Honestly, stay neutral. There's a lot of people that want to drag you into drama. If you even if you really don't get along with somebody, if you just kind of like sit back and keep it to yourself and do what you got to do, like just tune out the noise, then at some point, even the people that you think really don't like you or that things didn't go well with, like sometimes those are the people that surprise you the most.
Yes.
Sometimes there's opportunity hiding in the least likely place, and so just keep all your connections, keep all your doors open. Like when you see drama going down, stay away from it. Just do your thing. Like make your music the best you can and let it speak for itself, and the rest, you'll be all right.
I might take that advice to heart. I need to learn to keep my mouth shut.
Don't you just?
I'm a miserable bastard when it comes to somebody trying to tell me what to do, how to do it, when to do it. I'm that old school.
Well,
you know what? I'm an adult. I'm that old school. I'm an adult. I'm a big boy. I'm grown up. I can make my own
I have one
decisions.
request of your husband, and that's to not cut your toenails during the show, during interviews. When I play back some of these interviews, all I can hear is clip, clip, clip.
Now,
clip.
I've been nice and quiet over here tonight because this is nice talking with this guy, so shut up.
You just tell them it's make them feel bad. Make her feel bad. Tell her it's your pacemaker.
She'll rip it out.
I can't believe that.
There's the big thing right now is Channel 5 News down here in Nashville just did a story about bands paying to play at CMA Fest because the bars will actually charge artists to come down and play.
I've heard that.
Right, and I mean I won't do it, but I also that's a very good opportunity to keep your mouth shut and just all right, so I don't believe in it. I'm not going to do it. There's other people right now that are just really getting in the weeds. Really, maybe that's their fight. I don't know, but it just seems like once people will hate your music because they hate your politics.
Yeah, they're like that. Absolutely.
Yep. The minute you intervene, that's the other thing. Don't talk about politics. Like, just leave it out. Doesn't matter what you think. If you want to be successful in music, don't lose half your audience.
Religion, politics, and what was the other one? Transgender toilets. People argue over transgender toilets too.
Religion.
Stay away
Yeah.
from that one.
Did you mention religion?
Religion, yeah.
It's not. None of that is worth talking about. Like, why? Unless you're Rage Against the Machine and your whole platform is screw the government, then fine, talk about it. But everybody else, like, I mean, ask the Dixie Chicks. They lost half their audience just because they had to be political. Like, just leave it out.
What about the girls in Russia? They got thrown in prison for speaking out.
Oh, yeah. Who was that? Was that like Tattoo or something?
You know what? I don't remember what the name of the group was, but I just remember they all
Tattoo
went
was
to
always
prison
very
for...
controversial anyway, wasn't it? That's the way they come across anyway.
But we
You
don't...
remember that? You remember those guys?
Yeah, I do.
That's funny.
Who?
Tattoo, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think they came out when I was at school, and they come across as I can't remember very much about it, unfortunately, but they come across as lesbians and out
Yeah,
and
they were
proud
pop
and,
singers.
and
Yeah.
going against all the rules, and it was very controversial back then.
Well, as you can tell, we don't discuss any of that crap because that's what I think it is pretty much. And I don't think anybody's private views are anybody's business. We just like to shoot the shit and find out who you are and what's going on. What do you drive? You got a pickup truck?
I have a couple different vehicles. I have a
While you're thinking of your vehicle, Dan Conley in the chat room says that it was Pussy Riot. It was a band in Russia.
Pussy Riot. Yeah, that's right. Pussy Riot.
That's the one.
With a name like that, what do you expect?
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you got to shake it up. That's and like I said, if you're gonna shake it up, by all means shake it up. But if you're gonna try to hold a whole audience, that's maybe not the best idea. Let's see. I have a Hyundai Tucson. I know that's not a very country car, but that gets me back and forth to work. And then I have a Dodge Dakota.
Oh, a Dodge! Good God, doesn't anybody drive a Ford anymore?
I've never really worried about getting involved in that fight either. I'm just happy everybody's buying American cars.
That's
You're just not
sensible
country.
decision. You're a sensible boy.
You're just not country without a 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, and I used to live up in New England, and I had a Ford Escape that I was driving around, and I forget what happened, but the transmission went or something, and I had to get a car quick, and I had a dealership across the street, and that Hyundai was there, and I said, well, it is what it is, and I took it off the lot, and that was that.
How do you pull up to a construction site in a Tucson?
I do whatever I want, mostly.
That a boy. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, I don't listen to the more you can tune out the noise, the better. I mean,
that's right.
I just think if people don't like my car, they're just hating that they don't have the new age soccer van. That's on them.
Don't you want to be a soccer dad? Don't you want to live in the city in a cookie cutter house?
Oh gosh, no. I spent some weekends in New York City not too long ago, and hey.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. You should see Dallas and all the suburbs. We've been working in some of those houses. Oh my God! You look out the window and you're like looking in a mirror. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, the last place I stayed in New York City, you looked out the window and that's where they kept the garbage. So I feel you.
You have a Facebook page, correct?
I do.
And a
if
web
you
page.
Just look up my name, you'll find it. Yeah, myname.com is the website. Kept it easy.
Now, is it XXX on those pages too?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
That's easy enough. A couple questions here for you, and we'll let you go.
All right, man. Whatever you got.
What is your favorite word?
No.
Oh, pickle. Easily.
Pickle?
What is your least favorite word?
I don't know. Moist.
That's Randy's favorite word.
That's my favorite word. What turns you on?
What turns me, like in a physical sense?
In any way, what turns you on? What's the biggest thing that just turns you on?
When you know that somebody cares about you, like when you have people in your life that you can count on, because it doesn't happen that often.
Real people.
Yeah. When you find someone, or just the thought of finding people that are real, like you say, just real people that you can count on, like that. That's a good day when you can find someone like that.
What turns you off?
Cigarette smoking.
Well, I just put my last one out.
In your face, husband.
What sound do you love?
What sound do I love?
Yeah.
I do love me a D minor chord.
What sound do you hate?
What sound do I hate? Oh, yeah, I used to have this roommate live next door who bought one of those old-fashioned alarm clocks and slept through it.
I can only imagine.
So we'll go with that.
What's your favorite curse word?
I think anything I say will probably just come across as a beep, right?
No.
No, internet. You can say whatever you want on here.
Oh, yeah, man, but I got fans in the Bible Belt. Come on.
It's your Bible. Read it the way you want.
Yeah.
Do you never say bloody hell?
No, I mean, in my own time, I'm sure I'm guilty of lots of things.
You're a construction worker. I cut you lots of slack.
Oh, yeah. No, honestly, in construction, everybody drops F-bombs all the time.
Absolutely.
Not on stage. Never on stage.
What profession other than yours would you like to attempt? And you can either go with music or with construction, whichever one you prefer.
What career would I like to attempt?
Yeah, besides yours.
You know what would be cool? You ever hear about those guys who take frozen chickens and shoot them into airplane engines?
Yeah, of course.
What?
That sounds like a good job.
Has Mike Rowe done that yet?
I don't know, but like a stuntman would be cool. Like doing movie stunts, that'd be sweet.
What profession would you not like to do?
Anything involving blood, doctor, surgeon, ER, EMT. Even like the person who like pricks the finger for the physical. Like I'm all set with that.
And this must be why we prefer frozen chickens.
Right? Yeah. No, I don't want to hurt the animals. I just want to eat them.
Exactly, barbecued preferably. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you get to the pearly gates?
If heaven exists, what would I like to hear him say at the pearly gates?
Colin?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be funny if he said, like, back of the line.
Now, that's one we haven't heard before.
Well, I mean, I don't
Go
want
on,
to hear
you're
that.
drunk.
I don't want to hear that because it's like the best thing to hear. But I like to laugh, and I think if I got to heaven and he said, "You back of the line," like I would probably laugh, and that would be worth it.
Colin, go home. You're drunk.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had a what did I say? I wrote a lyric the other day about God. It was I wrote a scribbled note on an envelope and sent it. Gosh, it was something about sending a scribbled note up to God and him sent. No, it was I sent a prayer up there. That's what it was. I sent a prayer upstairs to heaven, and the good Lord sent it back with a scribbled note on an envelope. Said I ain't got time for that.
Oh, awesome. There's a song in there somewhere.
That's right. I ain't got time for that. Well, we wrote a song. Actually, we ended up writing a song called "Ain't Got Time for That," but it didn't involve religion.
Did that come from that chick that?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, that's it.
What's that?
There was a number of years ago that she was a black woman that was on TV, and she kept saying, "I ain't got time for that."
Oh yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. I remember that.
Yeah, that was quite a song for a while. I think we played that on the show way back when.
Oh, I didn't know. I remember who you're talking about, but I don't remember a song out of it.
Oh yeah, there was a song out of that. Somebody put it together, one of those auto tunes, I think, or something like that.
That's funny. I'll have to look that up.
Oh, I'm sure you should be easy to find. It shouldn't take much.
I will send it over to the Facebook chat where I posted the phone number today.
Well, awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, perfect.
Nice to have you come hang out with us for a little while and just chit-chat. You sound like a good, straightforward kind of guy with a good sense of humor. Good luck with everything. Sounds like you're headed in the right direction. You know what you're getting into and you know where you're headed. Pretty cool. So are you working on, getting some new tunes lined up and then maybe an EP eventually?
I got about 25 songs to record. I'm trying to figure out how to do it.
Well, just get them to us when you do, because we'd be glad to play them first. We love this stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We got so many great artists come through here. We got more great music than we know what to do with. We can't thank you enough.
Well, Donna, Randy, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on with you guys tonight. It's been fun.
Not a problem. Go get them, cowboy.
I will do our best.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you later.
Good night, Colin.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
This is your summer radio station. The Yanki and the Brit Show on RTM Radio.
Here's Colin Axxxwell. Hell yeah. Right here with the Yankee and the Brit. Sunday.
Do you want to climb to the top of that tree? Go belly flopping in the lake with me. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Do you want to ride on my handlebars? Pop a wheelie while we dodge some cars. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, this might hurt just a little bit, but I'm still down if you're still in. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, life's a lot better when you yell a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You laugh a little louder when you yell a hell yeah. gonna steal a couple shopping carts and drag race them down the boulevard. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Do you want to light a couple cherry bombs? Blow up the garbage in your grandma's lawn? Hell yeah. Ah, hell yeah. Well, this might land us in the county pen, but I'm still down if you're still in. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Life's a lot better when you yell a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You laugh a little louder when you yell a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Life's a lot better when you yell a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Everybody singing with me while I yell a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good story starts right here with a watch this, hold my beer, and a hell yeah, hell yeah. Life's a lot better when you yell a hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. You laugh a little louder when you yell a hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Life's a lot better when you yell a hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Everybody shout it with me while I yell a hell yeah. Come on. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Twofer on the RTM Radio Network.
Wanna throw down till the sun comes up. Drink a little shine in my pickup truck. Roll in the bar like Jesse James. Take a double barrel shot with pinpoint aim. Let me tell you what you're looking at. I'm a runaway train in a cowboy hat. I'm crazy, oh baby, don't bother trying to save me. Big spender, bartender, what's that good stuff you just gave me? It makes me wanna start a fight. I guess I'm that guy tonight. Take off my shirt and dance all night. Tell all the ladies I'm Mr. Right. I can't see straight, I might just hurl. Then I'll drink your drink and kiss your girl. Well, y'all are gonna have to drag me out, 'cause the night's still young and there ain't no doubt that I'm crazy. Trying to save me. Big spender, bartender, what's that good stuff you just gave me? It makes me wanna start a fight. I guess I'm that guy tonight. Oh yeah. They got a karaoke machine. Y'all are wrong. The next Freddie Mercury. I'm crazy, oh baby, don't bother trying to save me. Big spender, bartender, what's that good stuff you just gave me? I'm crazy, oh baby, don't bother trying to save me. Big spender, bartender, what's that good stuff you just gave me? It makes me wanna start a fight.
Colin Axxwell, that guy. And just before that, Colin Axxwell. And hell yeah, what a guy, man. Great guy. Got it all together over there. And what a sound. Boy, does he sound great. Check it out, man. Great music. One more from Colin over here. This is Look Up. You remember him talking about this during the chat? Right here with the Yankee and the Brit on Sunday.
I couldn't wait to see you today, but I didn't even get a hello. We cruised around with you staring down. It felt like I was driving alone. You think life lives on that phone, but there's a lot more going on. Honey, look up, there's a big world out there. I've had enough of the stone cold blank stare. I don't wanna be another face on the page. So come on, don't you wanna wake up? You got a shot to put it down and shake it up. If all those strangers disappear, honey, you got a friend right here. It used to be that all we would need is a Saturday and somewhere to go. We wouldn't share the things that we did there with folks that we barely know. We can still live like that now. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Honey, look up, there's a big world out there. I've had enough of the stone cold blank stare. I don't wanna be another face on a page. So come on, don't you wanna wake up? You got a shot to put it down and shake it up. If all those strangers disappear, honey, you got a friend right here, yeah. Your whole life's in front of you, darling. All you gotta do is look up. There's a big world out there. I've had enough of the stone cold blank stare. I don't wanna be another face on a page. Come on, don't you wanna wake up? You got a shot to put it down and shake it up. If all those strangers disappear, if all those strangers disappear, buddy, you got a friend right here. Whoa, you got a friend right here. You got a friend right
Broadcasting around the world. This is your number one internet radio station. The music you love right here, right now.
Here's Jimmy Gibson. When I walk away.
My life been on the edge, afraid of what I'm saying will be misread. Suggested some things for us to do. You belittle me in front of who's who. Try to stick around for the long. Found out the hard way that it wasn't fun. to stay. I take the chances, trust the fate. What you gonna do when I walk away? With all the hurt, there's no way I can stay. I've tried and there's nothing left to say. I'm at the end of the road. Someone's gonna pay. What's gonna do when I walk away? So many times I took the backseat while you were out there partying. I just couldn't sleep. Often I wonder where I should be. I know there's no way you're thinking of me. I hope you find that one that's made for you. One that could feel the shoes that I couldn't do. And maybe there's someone out there just like you. I had the feeling that's all I can do. What you gonna do when I walk away? All the hurt, there's no way I can stay. I've tried and there's nothing left to say. At the end of the road, someone's gonna pay. What you gonna do when I walk away? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when I walk away? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when I walk away? What you gonna do when I walk away?
Yanki and the Brit on Sunday over here with a broken microphone. Jimmy Gibson. When you walk away, Yanki and the Brit. Look, I'm not having it. I'm in control of this place over here. Now, you work when I tell you to work.
How's that working for you?
It's going just fine right at the moment. See, it went. Look, what did I just tell you? Now, don't make me slap you again.
Don't make me say it again, as your brother would say.
That's right. Got another Jimmy Gibson tune here as soon as I figure out how to get it over here. And in the meantime, though, here's one for myself and Dan Conley. I'm pretty sure Dan likes this song. I think he does anyways. Pretty sure I remember that.
Hi, this is Dan Conley, and you are listening to the Yanki and the Brit.
He blesses the boys as they stand in line. The smell of gun grease and their bayonets they shine.
What a tune.
He's there to help them.
You're all over the road with Randy and Donna Bradley. And quit tailgating.
The only two things in life that make it worth living is guitars are tuned good and firm, feeling women. Well, I don't need my name in the marquee lights. I got my song and I got you with me tonight. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love. Let's go to looking back Texas, Waylon and Willie and the boy. successful life we're living's got us feuding like the Hatfields and McCoy. Between Hank Williams' pain songs and Newberry's train songs and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. So baby, let's say a diamond ring, buy some boots and faded jeans and go away. This golden tie's choking me, and in your high society you cry all day. We've been so busy keeping up with the Jones, a car garage and we're still building on. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas, Waylon and Willie and the boys. This successful life we're living's got us feuding like the Hatfields and McCoy. Between Hank Williams' pain songs and Jerry Jeff train songs and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas, Willie and Waylon and the boys. This successful life we're living's got us feeling like the Hatfields and McCoy. Between Hank Williams' pain songs and Newberry's train songs and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain.
Lukenbach, Texas, Southern accent with the Yankee and the Brit on Sunday. Jimmy Gibson right there. Hey, we got it. Finally got it to work right, too. Just like my microphone will not work right. Sorry about the noise, but what is the matter with you? Stop it. I love you, microphone. Could you just work for just a little while?
You're my friend. Thank you for being my microphone.
No, God, no, not my microphone.
You know,
aren't you sick of hearing that yet?
We are totally sick of it. Sometimes we're out and about, and Randy will say, "How do you like this colour paint?" And I'll go, "Oh gosh, no."
I'm
and then
so
that's
sick
it.
of
And
hearing
he's
that.
like, "I ain't gonna slice your head off if you say that one more time." But we've actually been doing it by accident as well.
It's just disgustingly disgusting.
In Kentucky Fried Chicken the other day, the
Excuse me.
I've got hiccups. Kentucky Fried Chicken the other day, this guy asked him if he wants something. He was like, "Gosh, no."
Hey, does that help? Can you hear yourself now?
Yeah, I can hear myself now. Ooh, do I sound all sexy?
I can turn it back off. Stacy, is she still here?
Stacey Joe's still here, I
There
do
she
believe.
is.
I bet she's eating ice cream. She says
Hi,
she's going for a
Stacy.
bowl
Hello,
of ice
Jake.
cream.
Nice to see you back there, buddy. Jimmy Gibson, of course, hanging out with us tonight. Colin Axxwell on the phone. What a great guy. Colin Triple Axxwell. I like that. Pretty slick. Dan Conley. And everybody else tuned in. Nice to have all you guys hanging out with us on a Sunday night. I know, right? Thomas Collins, Rollins, senior dude there, that guitar man over
Gorgeous, hot and sexy bunch.
there. Ooh, baby, yeah.
Oh, baby,
Nice
baby.
to have all you guys hanging out here. I love it. Makes it all worthwhile. I get to play
Randy's
some
been
tunes
hanging
and jam
out
along
tonight.
with Dan.
I'm not sure he knows.
Who? What? No?
I said Randy's been hanging out tonight. I'm not sure he knows.
I'll zip it up here in a minute. I thought it might entice you.
Jake says he's been spending some time with his boys. And I have to say, little Hunter is the cutest thing in the whole entire world.
Colin Axxwell, what a cool dude, man. Nice and calm and relaxed. Got it all together.
Yeah.
Thanks for
nice
hanging out
guy.
with us, man. Nice to have you.
And I kind of felt it come across as so nice, and I kind of felt guilty turning into my awful self.
You didn't. You did nice. You kept
I
your vagina
behaved.
question to yourself.
Yes, I totally
Excuse me.
behaved.
Oh, stop right now. I said work. Now you will work.
I felt awful bringing out the inner Donna.
I will be buying a microphone sooner than you think.
Tomorrow, we are going to wake up and we are going to be buying a microphone.
No, just so we
and
need
you're not
to-
going to get one of those stupid ones that break if you nudge it.
Well,
Have you got me?
I know. We'll find something different. Anything to make you happy.
Yes,
Where are we
sir.
at? What time is it? 2:16. We got 45 minutes left yet. Cool. All right, so let's
What would
see.
Jake like to hear? Jake never, ever, ever, ever asks for songs.
I
What
don't
would
know.
Jake like to hear?
But here's a tune we're going to play.
Is
while-
there a song about beardo weirdos?
I don't know, but we're going to play this while Jake makes up his mind. Oh, if it wasn't Sunday, I would have drugged the needle across that one already. I have no problem with you liking what you like, Jake, but rap. Rap crap. I just can't do that stuff. Just not my style. But if that's what turns you on, dude.
Then again, it had me boogieing and dancing over here.
I
You
did
know?
the beats there, yeah, and all that, but it just
Yeah.
ain't my thing. But hey, request is a request. Okay.
Sunday night on the Yankee and the Brit show, we had Colin Axxwell on here earlier, and he is one awesome bloke with some fantastic music. What?
Jake, she's probably stuck on the pooper.
Exactly. If anybody's wondering where Stace Fart Face is, she is on the shitter. And she is dropping a hefty load.
That, I don't know.
I
if
do
you
not
know
want
that
to
or
borrow
not,
her
but
toilet after she's been in there.
that is some pretty disgusting stuff, I gotta tell you, that's for sure. Is that you?
Oh,
Donna.
Stace.
Jeez. Seriously. Oh, man. Are you done now?
But yeah,
Thank you. I hope the smell goes down with it. God. Disgusting little oaf.
they're just wondering in the chat room where Stacey is, and I just said that if Stacey, you know how she farts a lot, if Stacey blew up Jake's beard and it blew all over his face and he had hair all over his face and she can't see his face properly, he probably scared the crap out of her, so she's on the pooper right now.
Jimmy's got a beard, too.
Ah!
See, I shave it when it gets too long. What about your beard? What, she doesn't like beards? Is that it? Stacy? What's
I
that all
have
about?
no idea.
Well, what made you bring that up then?
I don't know.
Oh, you
just me talking
picking
shit.
on her, I see.
As always.
Boy, you can do that. Yeah, courtesy flush, no doubt. Lord knows, you know she needs one every once in a while. doesn't she?
Randy has his little goatee.
My what?
Randy has a goatee, and he is forewarned that he is not allowed to grow it any longer than that.
Daddy. Well, you sure as hell ain't going to make me take it away, I can tell you that.
Yeah, but you grow it any longer than that.
It won't grow any
then
longer.
I will.
It's been growing for 60 years and it won't grow any longer.
I'm talking about when you let it grow all over your cheeks.
Oh, I look like a
Oh,
knob when that happens.
look
I won't let
right
it get that
bad.
way. I can't get a beard like these guys with the black hair guys. They do the European genes or whatever it is.
I wouldn't stand it. I would have to divorce you. I couldn't stand thinking of all the birds and birds' nests and all that shit that would be living inside your big giant beard.
Yeah, but it might tickle your pooter.
I would have to. Would be like Velcro.
Like a what?
I said, would be like Velcro.
I can see me pulling my face away. That's disgusting as all fuck.
Oh,
Go on.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, it's
Oh
a good
my
thing. I'm
gosh.
sure it was more disgusting stuff.
Yes, yes.
Oh, man. Well, here we
Oh,
are,
Dad,
Sunday night,
Jake's-
and just dicking around again.
Jake says it saves all my food for later. You see,
I've heard that. Cookie duster.
One person that put me off beards years ago was this guy that used to drink in our local pub, and he used to have
The handlebar mustache?
He used to have this ginger beard, and he used to wrap his beard around his finger all the time. And I used to think, oh, I bet that gets all disgusting and dirty and nasty and bleh. And it just kind of makes me cringe. I'm just not one for beards.
Whatever turned
Dan
you on?
Conley, don't even think about growing a beard.
I couldn't imagine Dan with a beard. That would look funky.
Jimmy said leftovers for next day. Now I find them in my bra. You know, sometimes I'll find the odd peanut M&M in there.
Oh,
usually
usually
bacon.
My favorite leftovers is like when you burp up a hot dog and you can taste it again. Ugh.
Oh.
Ugh. Nothing worse than a 2-day-old hot dog coming up.
I tell you what, I've found all sorts of food in my bra. You know, you go out for breakfast and you get home and you think, what the bloody hell is that? I'm smuggling peanuts in here, and you know, it of course feels like a brick. And then it's just a teeny weeny bit of bacon.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes...
And you're like, okay, nobody's watching. Randy's not looking. Nobody would know if I ate this bit of bacon.
5-day rule.
Found in my bra. Yeah.
Those little cookie crumbs are good, though. Sometimes when I have my coffee in the morning, I run out of cookies or snacks.
What, you
to
come
go
and
with my
pinch
coffee,
them out my
so
bra?
I sneak over there while you're still sleeping and empty your bra out onto a little tray, and I finish up the crumblies. You know, the bottom of the bag is always the best part of anything. Potato chips, cookies, and it doesn't matter what it is.
But the bottom of my bra.
Cookies! I just remembered. I got Chips Ahoy in there. I got to get a glass of milk
I
in
eat
there.
it, Jimmy. I eat it. Hey, I tell you one thing about M&Ms, peanut M&Ms. I do not feel guilty about eating a peanut M&M when it's on the floor and I don't know how long it's been there. Or we gather all sorts of crap underneath our desks from the work that we do. And, you know, if I find a peanut M&M down there, it is mine.
Jake creams in his beard every day and uses it for oil. Oh, wait, I read that wrong. Oh, sorry. I have beard cream and an oil I use.
He'll never go blind because his beard will catch it all.
Oh, you are funny, aren't you? Just a funny Brit wit over there.
Oh, man, we'll come and look at that, Mr. G.
Hunter's standing up for his first time.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, I bet he looks
He's probably got
adorable.
knobbly knees like I do. Or like Indy Rosser.
Indy, yeah.
He's got some knobbly knees, buddy.
Oh, Steve Hickman's got some knobblies.
There's an Aussie with some naughty, some Aussie with some naughty legs.
Jake says, "Oh, you guys."
Hey, she's the gross one over here. Not
I
me.
behaved.
I'm just along for the ride.
I behaved though all the way through an interview tonight, so I deserve a bit of misbehaving time.
Oh, is that right?
That's exactly right.
I see. I'll try to keep that in mind. Okay. Well, anyways, what else is going on around here? Anything more exciting than Jake's beard full of cream?
I know. Only on the Yankee and the Brit show can we pay so much attention.
I know.
To
We keep
someone's
wondering why we
beard.
don't have any listeners anymore. It's just scare them all away.
Free M&Ms, Randy. Jimmy says, I always give Randy the green M&Ms out the packet, but when he's not looking, I'll sneak them to myself.
Green's my favorite color.
Yes.
He wants to walk instead of crawl. Yeah, well, just wait till he's walking all the time. You think your hands are full now. The show is just getting started.
Oh, I love Baby Hunter. It's so cute.
I used to baby hunt, too.
Don't you say that.
I'm only serious. Come on.
We're not allowed that kind of misbehavior on this show.
You didn't scare anybody off, Jake. We did. We're bigger knobs
It
than
was that
anybody.
grizzly thing on your face.
I know. I quit asking people to share the page and all that shit. Fuck it. People like us, they'll tell other people. Anyways, where are we? What are we doing over here? Let's see. I didn't like this session. There we go. Okay, I guess some more music.
Yeah, what you got lined up, husband?
Nothing in particular. Look at this pony girl, Donald Sullivan. I have no idea what it is. I had it in the, I don't even know what archive I had it in, but we'll play it anyway.
I guess we are going to
You're
find
tuned
out.
into the Yankee and the Brit on the RTM radio network.
Oh, there's a...
Oh, come on now.
That was our neighbor Tracy. Ah, yeah! Tex Williams and smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Cool. We got to go, man. Time is up. We'll see you all whenever the hell it is. Next Friday, I guess.
Out of here. And just remember, guys and gals, next Friday, Send any requests, silly songs. You know, there's lots and lots of awesome country tunes out there that are quite funny. Send in those kind of requests. We'll have a bit of a silly show next Friday.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Sounds good. Say goodnight, Donna.
Night, Donna.